fire commissioners. We have a quorum. We have Commissioner DeStrouge, Mayor Rilling. Unfortunately, Commissioner Bentley was not able to join us. So the meeting is called to order. The first item on the agenda, acceptance of the minutes of the regular meeting of May 18th,
So moved.
2021. Commissioner DeStrouge moves the item.
Yes.
Any corrections, deletions? Chief?
I didn't see anything, Chief.
I do have a correction. Page 2, under Fire Chief Report, the second paragraph, the last line should read 5 firefighters,
Oh, yes.
not fighters.
Okay,
And then just a correction on page 4. It's Christy Smith is spelled Kristi. And that's it.
okay. Any other corrections, deletions, omissions?
Nope.
Seeing none, all in favor of the minutes as corrected?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. No action items. Now it's the fire chief's budget report. Chief Gatto.
Okay, so last month we had talked about the fact that the overtime budget is being drawn down due to all the vacancies that we have. And I went to the Board of Estimate and Taxation and we transferred $250,000 from the firefighter salary account into the wages and salary overtime account. So it's not new money, we're just transferring money from one account to the other. And we projected for the month of June, which happens to be 5 weeks. And with the transfer, we should have actually a balance of about $17,000. So we should be okay in that account. And the wage and salary account should still leave us with about 166,000 in surplus. So actually, I think we're doing better than I thought we would for those two accounts. And overall, we are at 89%, 89.4% with a month to go. So we'll be under budget in the other accounts.
Very good.
Fantastic.
Always good news. And I know that's due to good management.
Always.
Yeah, any questions, Commissioner DeStrouge?
No questions.
All right. Thank you, Chief. That's always encouraging.
Yeah.
Nice to see departments coming in under budget and allowing us to recoup some of that money. Okay, next item on the agenda, Assistant Fire Chief of Administration, Chief Bassett.
Good afternoon, all.
Afternoon.
So our Staples intern finished up last week. He did a bunch of training with us, but what he was here for is doing that database and pre-planning update. He was able to touch over almost 200 properties and deleting a whole bunch of the stuff that's not there. So it's really helping us moving forward with hopefully in the next 6 months with a migration to a new records management system, which is on the technology update. So we're moving forward with our transition to another program. We're in the process with doing a sole source request for that. Our iPads are still, those are pending as soon as IT gets the time for upgrades with them. And then we met a couple times with our communications people through PD for the new radio system. So they're really working on the fire department. You know, we're the most complicated in the city. So they're really working with us to develop that platform. And then everyone's going to be built around us because we need the most channels. So everything's progressing. Nothing's finished yet. I don't think with software it ever is finished, but that's where we are with the technology updates and the high school intern. The one thing I didn't get on the agenda, and the chief can jump in here, we're looking to do a promotional ceremony in July, potentially at City Hall. So we're going to be looking for the commission for best dates to do that. So we could follow up with an email, but we just wanted to have you start thinking about that as the commission to set a date. That's all I have.
Yeah, I just want to add that the intern that we had here, very well respected kid, very good kid, and he really helped us out a lot. The promotion ceremony that we put off now since January, there's at least 10 people that are being promoted. And we figured that with the volume of people and their families, Al suggested that we use City Hall, which I've never done it before at City Hall, but he's been there, and I understand the police does their promotion stuff in City Hall. So just want to throw that out to the commissioners, and we could hold it even in the evening if that would work better for everybody, to get the families there. Al's going away for 2 weeks, National Fire Academy, so we'll be pushing this hopefully after the 4th of July, or the week after the 4th of July, if it works in everybody's schedule.
All right, yeah, that sounds very doable. And just kind of make sure we have the numbers, how many people should be coming. We'd obviously, try to limit the people for each of the promotional promotees to 2 or 3 or 4 people, maybe, mother, father, wife, kids, that kind of thing. And then we'll figure it out how we can keep everybody safe. Regarding the Staples High School intern, I'm sure that you'll probably write a letter for the file that can go into his file for future reference, and thanking him on behalf of the city of Norwalk, and maybe just outlining some of the things that he did. So, when he looks to college, or he looks to some other things, that'll be certainly a document he can use to show he's done.
We will take care of that.
Thank you.
Commissioner, any comments or questions?
No.
Okay, Assistant Fire Chief of Operations, Assistant Chief McCabe.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Starting off, I went down to King Industries week before last, met with their fire chief, Tim Morissette, their safety director, and with Bob King, just to update our pre-plans, update our SOPs, and just to keep up with what they are storing there and what their productions are currently. It's always good to keep that relationship tight and to have a good working relationship with them. So I think that was a successful meeting, and we have a follow-up meeting to take care of a couple of the items that we addressed. Also under operations, ladder company, interoperability and training. Approaching this with the training director and some of our senior firefighters, our veterans who have been on the ladder company, with an emphasis on utilizing the institutional knowledge and experience that we've gained operating our current ladder truck for the last 10 years, with the idea of passing that knowledge on to the personnel who will be crewing the new ladder truck when it's delivered at the end of the year. So we're learning some good lessons there. We're in the middle of some good training, and there'll be some SOPs that come out of that process as well. So that's ongoing. Also in the process of revising and updating a couple of our other standard operating procedures.
How's that going? How's that going? Going well?
It is going well. Yeah. It's been a good process, and it's getting good feedback on it.
Good.
For calls for the month of May, 21 fires, including 2 building fires. We had 44 rescues, 25 of those motor vehicle accidents. We went on 374 emergency medical responses, 10 of which firefighters drove the ambulance, 27 hazardous conditions, 27 public assists, 52 smoke scare and good intent. We had 111 fire alarms, and cumulatively from January 1st to May 31st, we're at 2,745 incidents and 4,326 total runs. And you can see for the month of May, we've actually outpaced 2020. So it was a busy month.
Yes, busy.
As far as incidents of note, we had a few on May 3rd. We responded to a juvenile cardiac arrest on Paradiso Street. This was a 12-year-old girl with a previous medical history who was found in her bed by her parents in the morning and had died in her sleep. So we had Engine 2 that responded to that. And that was a young engine company in that it was some new personnel who were new to the department, also a new lieutenant. They did an excellent job on the call. The Norwalk paramedics commended the performance, everybody at that call. And due to the nature of the call, obviously anything involving children is difficult. So we had the company officers check on the crew in the days and the weeks following to make sure they were doing okay with it, and also got them the information in case they wanted to reach out to the Fairfield County Trauma Response Team. But everyone is doing okay with that. And like I said, they did a wonderful job considering the circumstances. We also had a kitchen fire on Clara Drive, which was extinguished by the homeowners, but there was some extensive damage to the kitchen. There was a construction dumpster fire right next to Brian McMahon High School, which was quickly extinguished. And they had a staff member called to the scene as the school was closed that day to check the interior for any extension. None was found. Structure fire at 7 Reynolds Street on May 22nd. This was a commercial building. Fire came in early in the morning, was already well involved when we arrived. Due to the nature of the fact it was a commercial building, none of the employees had arrived. We knew that there was nobody inside. The command staff at that took a defensive posture and extinguished the fire. And considering it was a large operation, there were no injuries reported. So a successful scene there. We also had a watercraft rescue in Norwalk Harbor. The fireboat responded to a call on the marine radio for a boat aground taking on water. And they were able to pull up alongside and took 5 people and 2 pets off of that boat and delivered them back to the marina. So some good performance there, again, by the Marine Division, as it's been a busy summer for them. And great job by all personnel involved in those calls. I'll take any questions.
Commissioner?
No questions. Great job, though. Thank
Sounds
you.
like a very busy month.
Thank you.
So, yeah, and normally you're around 19 calls per day. You're up over 21 now, and that's significant when you start trying to factor in the call time and how much that takes. So
Absolutely.
things pick up a little bit. I notice things are also picking up at PD with calls for service. So after everybody's getting ready to maybe picnics and things like that, there'll be more medical calls, and be interesting to just see how that goes. Okay. Fire Marshal Sawyer, the Fire Marshal's report.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Month of May, we had 203 inspections, 43 notifications, 51 plan reviews were completed, 8 liquor license, and 7 investigations. We collected $3,720 for the month of May. That's it.
How's the staffing now? Is you're
Inspector Lopez is completed class. He's going to be going on to the residential inspections. So that adds another person with boots on the ground. As far so good. Al and I have talked about making it more efficient in doing the business and mercantile inspections working on that also.
Okay. Commissioner DeStrouge?
No questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Emergency management.
So Michelle is away this week at a conference in New Orleans, hurricane conference. But she did send me some bullet points on some of the things that she wanted to talk about today. On June 9th, between 9 and 11:30, which Mayor, you were a part of, we had a virtual tabletop exercise on hurricane preparedness. We had quite a few departments from across the city were involved. And it was broken down into pre-landfall timeframes and like what would you do up to 96 hours before the hurricane gets here, and then the actual landfall, what your responses are, and then what are recoveries. So it was good interaction with all the other different agencies. And when she gets back, there are some items that she's going to get back to everybody on. Another thing that Michelle's been working on is the youth preparedness programs with the Red Cross, which I know she's mentioned before. It's that the Pedro, the Penguin, which is geared toward kids K through 2, grade 2. So they'll get a backpack with coloring books and some storybooks and crayons and etc. And then the next group would be the Pillowcase Project, which is for grades 3 through 5. It's actually a pillowcase that the kids can color on. They could personalize it however they want. It's basically the size of a full pillowcase, and they could use it as a go-to bag if they ever had to evacuate or leave their premises. That has program materials and other items as well. And I know some agencies have already been here. She handed quite a few out, but I know this program will continue a little bit longer. Michelle was involved in the non-perishable food boxes that the state is going to be delivering to Norwalk, and we're going to hold on to some of those just for storm responses. I don't know how many. We had a very good meeting with PD and EMS regarding the active threat guideline document that we have published. And we all reviewed the document. There was good feedback on it. So the takeaways are we're going to work on a tabletop exercise with officers only first. And then we'll get into a multi-agency drill, probably at one of the schools, probably in the summer when the schools are closed. And the last item was just the open house, which is 9/26 and Oyster Festival. We'll be planning those two events as we get closer to the dates. So that's it for emergency management.
All right.
Pretty busy. Thank you.
Busy.
Okay, Commissioner, you're all set?
Yes, all set. Thank you.
Okay, it's just Deputy Chief Markowitz for the training.
Good afternoon. We've had a busy month, busy last 4 or 5 weeks. Our truck 2 went to New Haven for funeral coverage when they had their line of duty death several weeks ago. Because they had a line of duty that week, we had our companies go through and review all our rapid intervention team procedures and equipment. We've been continuing on with department physicals. Chief Bassett has been helping with that. We're averaging roughly, we do, I think, 2 to 3 a day on average. We had a safety officer class. It's a 3-day class. We had 11 attendees consisting of both officers and privates. We've started and have been continuing with ground ladder training with our truck companies. We've done stabilization training. There's a picture there with the car on its side. We did that with the rescue company on each shift. Stabilization training. We've been doing pump operator training, refresher training for all the engine companies throughout the city on all the shifts. And we did with we had access to a commercial building at 540 Main Ave. It's right next to the DMV. They're knocking it down. They gave us permission, and we were able to do some ventilation training on a commercial structure, which was somewhat invaluable to the guys. It's something that we don't get to do that often. So we spent last week, we were there with Station 1 and Station 2 doing ventilation training. So that's been a busy month, and we have a lot going on right now. So, and that's it for that.
I went by the main avenue, saw the training going on. I didn't get a chance to pull in or anything, but I was in a long line of traffic and was able to watch for a little bit. So
Yep.
I could see. Now, the other thing is the department physicals. What does that involve? Is that like physical agility or just a physical
No, it's
examination?
a medical physical.
Okay.
So it's it's a medical physical to NFPA. It's to meet the NFPA standard. We do it every year. We go to what's the walk-in on Main Ave?
E,
What is it?
AFC.
Yeah, AFC on Main Ave. Right now, we've been averaging 2 to 3 firefighters per day.
Mhm.
Basically 3 to 4 days a week.
Yeah. Okay. Commissioner?
Question that we usually ask every month is how many firefighters have been vaccinated? Any change?
No, nothing's changed.
No.
There's been no, I can't say nothing's changed. Nothing, I haven't been giving any additional information. So if they don't forward me a copy of their vaccination card, then I don't know whether or not they've done it or not. So I just have what was sent to me, which hasn't changed since the last meeting, unfortunately. It's kind of slowed down as far as that goes.
Yeah.
We keep talking
you.
about and keep pushing the fact that they need to get vaccinated, but we can't force them to get vaccinated,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately.
Understood.
Okay. Firefighter Ireland, and I see no items from 8:30. Is that, do you have anything for us?
Can you hear me?
Yep, now we can.
Okay, sorry, I actually got a few things after the deadline to submit. So we have from our golf outing that we ran, we raised about $5,400, give or take a few dollars. Most of that will be donated to the Burn Foundation, which runs the Burn Camp, which I think I told you guys about last month. Also, too, actually, I just got an email as we're sitting here from our recipient, from Brian McMahon. We do our annual scholarships for both high schools for $1,500 from the local 830. Nick Giancastro, one of our members' sons, Justin, was awarded the Newark High School scholarship. And we didn't have any members' children at Brian McMahon this year. And Talana Thomas, I just was reading an email from her, is going to Eastern Connecticut in the fall and received our scholarship from Brian McMahon. So we'll be working with them to make sure they get their monies, and something we look forward to. Unfortunately, this year, Mayor, I know I've seen you at the McMahon one a few times. We weren't able to present because of COVID. They had to kind of do everything online. So we just were told afterwards and given the information to reach out to the students to make sure they.
Yeah, I wondered why, because I didn't get notification of that one.
Yeah, actually, Chad Sutherland, I believe I pronounced his name right, from McMahon. He just emailed me out of the blue. We had been in contact saying, hey, listen, we don't have any seniors this year that we targeted. Can you go ahead and pick 1 or 2 students based on need and stuff to go ahead. And he just reached out to me. Thank you. And then the other day said, hey, sorry, everything was done like on a Zoom, presentation. So I was like, no problem. Just give me the contact info and we'll make sure that they're taken care of in the fall.
Great.
Okay. Any questions, Commissioner?
No, thank you.
Update on building repairs, old business?
Al, can you talk about Station 1?
Yeah, so we're still, legal is still gathering information for Station 1 project. They're still working with the bonding company. They do have one contractor that rebid on the project. We don't have the prices yet, but that's going to be on the legal side and how they're going to deal with that. So it's kind of, we're still hanging on there, not really positive progress, but they are gathering information to hopefully move it forward in the next few weeks and make a decision on it. Otherwise, everything else is good. As far as buildings, we're status quo. Maintenance has been done. On a follow-up from the hurricane drill, I did get our generator runtime, so we have an idea of how long our fire stations will operate after if we lost power. So that's something that's we addressed. We're looking at, and they'll run for 3 to 7 days, which is good. So hopefully that'll suffice us, and we could refill them pretty easily with diesel fuel. So that's not a big deal, but that was one takeaway from the hurricane training that Michelle did. And we just got approved with the council for the camera project, which will also, the more important thing is put emergency buttons on every firehouse moving forward. So if nobody's there, they can ring the doorbell and actually somebody will talk to them if somebody walked up with an emergency. So that's that project will start after July.
Okay. Commissioner?
No questions. Thank you.
And now we're into correspondence. I saw the letter from Bill Gardella, Chief.
Yeah, the only letter that I got, like a thank you letter, was from Mr. Gardella. Apparently, the Rex Boating Club people could like rent a boat for the season, and they're like they're allowed to use it like once a week kind of thing. So we're anticipating that there's going to be quite a few boaters out there that don't really know the waters that well, and are going to end up either in the rocks or stuck on the islands, as has happened twice since this letter was written on May 13th. So he was very appreciative of us. We were able to get in there and retrieve the people instead of having them wait until the next tide cycle to come in. So he was grateful for that. I do have 2 other letters. They're not thank you letters, they're retirement letters. In a normal course of business, firefighter James Mcneil, he's retiring on June 30th. He came out with me in 1982. So he's been around for a long time. Both of these guys are in the drop, so they're leaving the drop early. Bill Kramer is requesting full retirement from the drop effective June 28th. And he has 33 plus years with the department. And we have another firefighter who 12 weeks ago applied for the FMLA Act because he had some personal issues at home, and personnel worked all the paperwork out, and he's been on leave for the last 12 weeks. Well, he was due to come back today, and he sent me a letter this morning requesting that he needs to resign from the department. It was a very difficult decision that him and his wife had to make, but they concluded that it's for the best outcome for them that he needs to resign from the department. Wants to sincerely thank us all for the opportunity to serve one of the finest fire departments in the state. And he was grateful that he worked with some very good people through those couple of years that he was here. So that will bring our total vacancy count to 17 by the end of June.
The firefighter that has to resign, is there any opportunity that perhaps if he were to speak to somebody in City Hall or somebody within the department or somebody like Commissioner DeStrouge, that we'd be able to work with him and whatever issues he may have and try to help him out? Or is this something that's kind of a fait accompli?
Well, from the beginning, he was offered peer support groups. He was given the EAP literature. We reached out, tried to get him to support, and the guys on the shift would call him every once in a while. He's pretty much determined. This is his third fire department, by the way.
Okay.
But he's determined that, you know, it's better off if he's around at home. He lives in Westchester. So there, no, he's made up his mind. He's definitely gone.
That sounds like you've tried, and that's all we can do.
We did
If
try.
you would, on the two retirements, if you would have a letter drafted from the commission thanking them for their service and wishing them well.
Will do.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any,
Yeah,
I think
you
that's.
have my authorization to sign for me.
Yep. Okay,
Thank you.
so I think that's it for the agenda. Commissioner, do you have a motion?
Motion to adjourn?
Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. And
Aye.
we are adjourned at 3:32.
All right.
Thank you all.
Good day.
Yes.
All right,
Thank
thank
you. You
you.
have a good rest of the month.
You
Yes.
too.
And
And
let
we'll
us know
be in
when
touch when we get the
when we need
list.
to have that special executive meeting.
Yep.
Mhm.
Very good.
We'll
Okay.
do. Okay.
Thanks. Okay.